Holistic music.
What does that mean? Healing music.
How it recognizes that.
Yeah, Google said they're only going to be showing AI searches now, or search results now. What does that mean? Exactly. So you're not. And how are they doing it beforehand? There's no AI involved, exactly.
This is what I mean. It's like new Google, but yeah, I don't really get that. So everything. This is what I'm saying. You don't need journalists anymore because you'll just have the AI writing it, and you'll have AI writing fiction. I mean, it'll be shitty fan fiction, but I don't think it'll be anything like. It won't be like this. Inner world, outer world.
It's so funny. Anytime you mention AI to normal people, everybody tightens up. Everybody gets so tight.
Well, it's like
when you tell them like you need to should be using this.
Not even using it, just like exploring it. Because you should still like rely on your own brain, but
it's nice to have that just something to actually parse it out and help.
I mean, people used Google before, so that's what I mean. It's just a more advanced Google, but it already is weakening. I tried some of that new 4.5. Grok needs to get better.
Yeah. Well, we're not paying for the premium one,
sucks,
is it?
dude. They already scaled back. They're already scaling back from like those questions. I just leave it with that previous question. Those previous questions I had. It's not going.
Oh, they're gone, or it won't go that far.
Not going that far.
Oh, you broke that then. You broke.
They probably got my reports and they're like,
put this guy on a fucking list. Keep it on this fucker.
Sir, it's the inner wizard. We've been watching this guy for months now.
They're talking to Sam Altman.
Sir, it's the wizard.
We need
He's broken the GPT 4.5.
No, the 4.5 is the cover up. That's what they're going to keep doing. It's like they're going to say it's like better and better, but it's just going to get more and more
retarded.
Exactly, and then people won't ask the questions. It goes away.
Yeah, I'll just Google it. Is it daylight savings time? How do I get to McDonald's?
Does that mean we go forward or after? Yeah. Are we losing an hour or
losing?
No, we're going forward.
Well, yeah, we lose sleep. Is how I'm looking at it.
So weird.
I'm pretty sure. I thought Trump was trying to stop this. I'm pretty sure he tried to stop the daylight savings nonsense or whatever.
I think Elon has like a poll on X right now, and it's like, who wants it? Who doesn't want it?
Oh,
maybe we'll get it next year.
Probably. Man. What's it really? Then people will tell you like it's doing something. We have to keep doing it for like a weird religious.
Some people like it for the extra hour, like light till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but then they take it away or what? Well, for the light wise.
Like it's gonna be 10. It's gonna be dark or lighter later. That's the whole thing. So people can have like campfires and shit.
Okay.
Beer sales go up. Well, it's summertime. I think it's probably all tied in with the economy in a sense.
Oh,
you can party longer. The sun's up longer. You can spend more money going out, spending more gas, driving, going to the bar. It actually boosts the economy because there's more time.
Wow.
Yeah.
God.
So that's why it's a thing, kind of. And then they take it away for the farmers, right? So the farmers can wake up earlier and it's lighter or some shit.
So
for the crops. That was the whole thing. It's like for the crops, so the crops can get more sunlight. But it's probably really now they just keep it because they can make more money because it's like summertime. Like,
so time is a spell is what you're telling me. Time is a spell that's been put on us.
Schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, or spell, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Time is a spell. In the same way that money is a spell.
Yeah, well, it's just a brain.
It's a trance. We've been put under a trance.
It's a brain game. I love these, dude.
I think that it's an enchantment that's been placed on the world by unknown entities. Time, money, and...
Well, that's what I mean, though. It's just light.
Something else, probably.
I mean, we could do the same stuff in the dark. But most people are kind of just programmed to the light and to the dark. Remember when I was a kid down in Texas, by our shop, my dad's shop, there was a couple that lived in the shop. Like kind of, it's not ghetto, but it's like kind of just rougher. But it's not terrible. And there was a couple, and they were nocturnal. My parents always said, yeah, they only come up at they during night. That's their day. And I was like, during the day they sleep all day. I was like, how do they sleep? It's so right. Yeah, it was just fucked my brain up a little as a kid. But I was like, yeah, they're just up at night.
They're raccoon people.
That's what they were, and they lived
raccoons.
in a shack. Like, yeah. But interesting. You can look beyond the time and just have a good time.
It's hard though if you have a job that you have to go to.
Nah.
It's hard, man.
I know, obviously.
Yeah.
But in the good times of having a good time, you gotta have the time. Gotta make time.
Exactly.
Make your own time. Don't follow the time. We're in times, but you can also have your own times. All right, too much time.
Yeah.
Talking about time.
It's getting really, whatever, ethereal. Let's talk about real life. I went out to I went out yesterday. I was out, dude. I got off work. I was out for like 8 hours after work. Yeah. I sent out an email appealing to
You were banned.
I was banned
previously.
I guess I haven't said it on this pod. I swear, have maybe?
I don't think you've because I don't really know this much. I mean, you might have told me.
I guess I can say it again.
Passing, but
anyways, I was banned for just being really inflammatory and offensive in a set. It was inappropriate of me. I don't even remember the subject that would have triggered it, but I just didn't have a good spirit at this place, and it was very. It was a coffee shop, so I mean, you can imagine. I don't even need to describe it. It was a coffee shop in Farmington.
Yeah, why not? There's a lot of
people here. It's not, but anyways, I sent out this email and I was just appealing to the host of it, and I didn't hear back, and then I went out there thinking that there was a mic, because it says on their website there was a mic scheduled on the Friday or whatever, and I get there and it's not. Sure enough, it's not. But I'm like, I can still get coffee. I can still hang out here, and I look like it. I mean, I'm in full garbs, so I've got like a "Make America Great Again" hat on. And I didn't take off my jacket, but I had like my Trump shirt on. So I'm just like, I mean, I look like a psychopath. I'm like, Americano, ma'am. I mean, sir, ma'am.
You just walked in, no mic.
No mic. It's packed with just white folks. And then there's like, there's a band that's playing music way too quietly. It's like
bro, it's just kind of there.
Yeah, like where it's almost the performance is almost just a part of it. It's not like nobody's focused on. It's like it's like going on in the background, which I guess is the point. They're not supposed to be like the focal point.
I mean,
they're just they're hanging out. Yeah, it was nice.
Good though.
They were doing like nice covers. It was fine.
So you got a coffee? What'd you get?
I got an Americano, a hot Americano. Do you know what Americano?
I don't do coffee.
That's espresso just cut with hot water.
Oh,
that's all it is. It's nice. It's a nice. It's if you like.
It's like tea.
If you don't want coffee, but it's just
tea
like
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to try something new, it's safe essentially. You don't have to worry that you're ordering something that's gonna like, oh my god, what is.
On with the story.
I'm about to start talking about Starbucks.
So
you got me. So I'm in there, and then the guy that I emailed, I mean, I'm sure he's in there every day because he like manages it. I think he's got a lot of things on his plate, essentially. But
busy guy.
So comedy's
sees you coming in with a fucking
comedy's not his main focal point. I mean, I didn't see him because he's like sitting in the corner like with his wife or his fiance and his So eventually I see him. I'm like, oh shit! And I mean, he eventually comes over to me. He sits down. And he's like, I saw your email. I'm not dodging you, dude. All right.
How did he respond to you?
And I apologize. I'm like, I didn't mean to like show up so abruptly and like, because that's what it seemed like.
He probably thought you had a fucking gun under your jacket. You feel like a Mac 10 is you're about to spray the place.
I probably look. I mean,
dude, it didn't tell me. You can't say it didn't cross his mind that you weren't gonna.
Yeah.
Do something maybe.
Nah,
would have crossed my fucking mind.
Nah, he trusts me.
I saw you in a dark MAGA hat walking in.
Me staring. I'm drinking my America. I've got a notebook out. I'm taking notes of everything that's going on. I'm like everybody that's wronged me. It's just like it's my death note.
And then you just approach him.
No, he comes to me. He noticed me.
He's like, I have to. He's probably
that's the thing. He said he admitted in the thing or whatever. Like I didn't want to ban you or whatever. You were just. I mean, I was out of line.
It's too much. Man.
I was spiraling. I mean, I probably wouldn't. I wonder if this was around the time of the P Boys thing. I don't know. I'll have to whatever.
Yeah,
that's whatever thing. But he said I was on his radar, and he's just sorting stuff out because it's hard to keep it open. It being a coffee house, and
right,
it's not the right crowd for comedy because people want to.
They want to kind of enjoy the time. They want to enjoy their time, have a good time, like we were just saying. They don't want someone.
I think where my set is right now would actually be perfect for the vibe before because it's more tempered. I mean, whereas before I was just being. I mean, it was really bad.
Were you yelling into the mic?
It was just really, it was more offensive, and it was just not. It just wasn't as well written as where I've gotten to right now.
Right.
It was insensitive, almost like
To a point.
because I was just making broad comparisons to like I was like children getting bombed. I was just talking about Palestine and like
That's
Israel
not that
bullshit.
bad.
It's I mean it is when there's like people with hijabs in the and it's kind of insensitive. But I mean it's like that's what he's saying though. Not having that kind of crowd in there, people doing homework while you're doing whether on a Friday while it's comedy night, and it's like and it's hard. So the problem is keeping the place open late after hours. That might be a good place we could film something. You spoke to?
I'm just imagining fucking students just trying to do homework. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just
And I'm just like ripping on. I'm just like talking about gooning or whatever.
No, it'd probably break my concentration.
Well, I mean, then F off or whatever. I mean, I don't know.
You're coming to see you gotta know what's going on, right?
You can't. That's also that's a big thing. It's got to know that it.
And these kids gotta learn that you have freedom of expression.
True.
Can't put a cap on that.
It sounds so retarded, but it's like that's what it is, though.
It is.
That's what America is, motherfucker. Get out of here.
So anyway, what happened? You never really talked about the conversation. So he says, he's just like,
it was brief. It was very brief. And I was just
email. All right.
Email. It's like, I mean, it was just a lot of just this and that, and I hung out for a little too long because I wanted to have some actual stuff written there before I went over to the next place, before I drove over to Canton. So I just had stuff written. I eventually.
You want to get a little paper towel?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. I was like, why did he move so quickly? I didn't even see it.
The other place then? You left this place.
I went over.
You took notes.
So it's like, I get there at like 7 o'clock.
You took notes.
I wrote out a set list or whatever. I wrote out the set list and it like siphoned off the last one. Set lists are just like bookmarks at this point, just the keywords. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. It worked. It's working. Whatever. Et cetera, et cetera. So I'm there like pretty early. Sign up starts at 7:30, and now this mic's under new management. It's no longer Floyd Jones, R.I.P. Floyd Jones, back on the crack. Back on the crack.
Who's Floyd? He sounds like a boxer from like this 90s.
He's a black guy, wears hockey jerseys.
Play hockey?
Probably not.
No.
Nah, I don't. I mean, maybe.
Cool, it's a look.
I shouldn't say no for
R.I.P.,
sure.
what happened?
I gotta learn. Yeah, he's alive. He's fine.
They just replaced him.
He's been
Or
replaced.
did someone just like kind of take it?
I don't know what the circumstances are, but it's
A new person.
new person. But he used to run it. Oh, actually, it's Ned Rice. Shout out Ned Rice. Ned. So I can start here. So Ned followed me after my last set there. My last set was really controversial, as he put it, because I was like, it wasn't. It just like was a reprimand on like black people essentially, because I did the stat. I did the Nazi thing where I'm like, these are the stats.
What is a stat though? It's
a good stat. See, I mean, people love statistics so much, so I was just reading statistics out. So in 2020, there was a research carried out at the Pew Research Center, and what it found was it was like either 72 or 74% of adult black people find that their race is either very important or extremely important to them, as compared to, well, I mean, that's not how the joke goes. Then I mean, you see, it's so badly written. See, that's the thing. It's so badly written. And then I speak German. Then I go,
explaining a lot.
yeah. And then I'm like, I say, ich gebe Mitleid. It gives me great sadness when I see people think that their race is so important or whatever.
Right. Having a pride in it.
Aber ich liebe alle Menschen. I love all people. Braunen und Schwarzen, black and brown people. And it's like,
It sounds good.
really like it's. I mean, it's. I like it. I'll do it again, but it needs to get.
It's kind of experimental.
It wasn't written well.
Yeah,
I need to be
Tighten up.
because I mean, yeah. Unless there's
So this guy, he's
whatever.
like, what?
so he follows me, and obviously he's like, well, that was a little controversial, and he's like, he doesn't bat. He just has to soften it because it was kind of awkward.
Right.
It was definitely kind of awkward. But I mean, obviously, I'm steamed after him. I was like, fuck this guy. Fuck Ned Rice. Fucking right for the Tonight Show. Fuck Ned Rice.
Oh, he wrote, okay.
So yeah, it's him. Yeah. So you imagine now he's taking over the mic. I was like, oh, I'm coming in this. I was like, I gotta make sure this shit's tight. Like I gotta make sure that it's like appropriate because, yeah,
Appropriate?
not appropriate. Well, just not appropriate. Just well written. Just better written. I don't want to say
Written for
appropriate.
like children?
No, it's not written
performing
for
for children.
It just, it would be that.
When did comedy have to become appropriate? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, here, not appropriate wasn't the correct word. Maybe just not. What did you say? Isolating for the audience. It doesn't.
Yeah, you don't want to ostracize your audience.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to ostracise the audience more. So
Make them
I
feel
was trying to make a
uncomfortable.
point about.
I mean, there's nothing like making points, but you don't want to like make it. You don't want to have like a. It's good to have a dark presence, but not like a.
Like I got a list.
No, like you're like mad at the audience.
Oh, I don't think it was like that.
That one open night we went. The one there was like
there was some mad
just mad people.
Man,
there's a couple mad people. You can just tell. There's
some couple people with the gun in their mouth already. It's like wow.
What was it? Play the drop. Play the drop. Yeah, I wish it was. It's got. I forget what page it's on.
Blue.
I was calm on the outside, but thinking all the time.
Yeah,
that's how a lot of the comedians were acting.
Yeah,
on the surface,
it was coming through.
Yeah.
So, but hey, it's tough. I haven't done it, so I can't say too much. But as someone who's trying to enjoy comedy, you want to have like a good time. You don't want to be fucking like.
It's hard to enjoy when the person is visibly like their nervousness is so.
Well, the nervousness.
Not even nervous.
But then there's like the anger thing too. It's just like, dude,
And it's like a feeling like, oh, this needs to be going well. And if it's not going well,
there's an anxiety, that comes through,
We just say anxiety. That's probably the best way to.
Better to have nerves than like anxiety in the performance. Mm-hmm. Nerves, you can channel that into like more of an emotional, an emotional resonance, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
That'll come through your voice. That's more natural. Whereas anxiety, you can get tight, or you're or like you're just up there not even doing what you're supposed to be doing.
It's not even, you can't even tell it's the person that it is off stage. Like they don't, not in any way that they're like echoes, like this person isn't acting at all how they act as a person off stage at all.
And it's like not even satisfying. I don't know. It's just like, what was
so when you're in a room with all comedians, they're like, dude, it's like, or mostly comedians.
But I'm there as a spectator like, trying to actually watch too. Just to see, and it's like...
Even then, and you don't even know. It's just like, this is something off-putting.
That's a good way to put it, off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to dwell on anything.
Yeah.
It's open mics. Like, it's tough.
All right, so I can talk about this guy. Let me get out my notebook, because obviously so this is the thing that I've been doing now or whatever, is that I've been...
Your notebook.
I get to these.
You probably put it under the camera.
Oh, I know. I just gave it to you here.
Is that it?
I made sure it was this one.
All right.
So the last two mics I've been going to, I've been taking notes on anything that strikes me as worth like pointing out.
Yeah.
In this point, this is going to become like a thing on this podcast now. Is where
your criticism.
We're going to go through my notes of at the open mics.
Make them concise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the first comedian that went up was a small little. So this is funny. So there's this group of people that's sitting at a table. It's an Asian woman, and she's there with a little Jewish man in a suit, a bald little Lex Luthor-looking Jewish man in a suit. He looks like one of his jokes was Jew Rogan. So imagine a midget Jew Rogan.
That was his joke.
That was his joke.
His mouth.
So for 2.5 minutes, all he did was roast himself. That was
called himself Jew Rogan.
He got a lot of pop. He was fun. Like he appeared very funny.
Purple.
But I mean, he was wearing a fucking suit. Like for Christ's sake. So yeah.
We'll put it right there.
Give it a nice sniff. Give it a nice sniff before you. It's nice. Your hair too.
The pink's not bad. I mean the pink.
Yeah. So he's there with this Asian woman, and he's sitting at the table with somebody from Massachusetts. Massachusetts. And then somebody that looks like Jace Avery from Lemon Party. This guy, and I bothered that. I mean, I walked and I talked to this guy. His name was Jimmy. I made friends. I told him, go listen to Lemon Party like an insane person. Like,
hey, you look like him. You should go listen to Lemon Party.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
To it.
Yeah.
So this Jew wrote. So the funny thing, this is a motif. So this is a motif that was going on. He's on this date. He's with this woman that he's been with, this Asian woman that he's been with for 1 month. She's pretty. She's a pretty lady. The whole time after he's gone up and they're sitting together, anytime that there was like any sexual jokes or anything talking, he would go over the top and laugh so I mean, it was becoming like obnoxiously like, God, I'm gonna get whatever. But I mean, I made note of that anytime it happened during other people's sets.
You're just making observations.
So Joe Rogan. Oh, this was a funny joke that he did, though. He talked about he has a real conflict about autism in trains because he's Jewish. I thought that was kind of clever. Because autism, people like trains. That's like a meme. But then he's Jewish, so trains Holocaust. You see, that was his only good joke. But instead, he roasted him. Everybody laughed. They were good roasts of himself. But it's so fucking easy if you could see what this guy looked like.
Jews right there.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, dude. All right. So then this guy was from Boston, and I swear to God, you could do a better guy from Boston.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this guy was like, he was like
actually from Boston or not?
Allegedly, he had the Bruins thing on or whatever. You don't lie about
Boston.
that. It was so bad. So he just did. This is the thing. So I made sure I made points. I wanted to help him for one thing. He lives in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
I won't tell the note. I won't do the note there. Fuck his note.
Giving away his address.
Yeah. Just a bunch of. All his jokes were about locality. He was just applying like
location.
Yeah, like I live at Ann Arbor, and it's like
yeah.
Oh, that was it. He was talking about like college basketball. And when he started talking about college basketball, he started talking like black. Out of nowhere, I'm like,
like as the bit, or he just kind of happened.
I don't think I think it just started happening like as part of the bit. Didn't mean to, but it wasn't part of the bit. But he just ended up talking that way because he was talking about basketball.
You just have to. Have you ever seen Quentin Tarantino like in an interview where he's talking with like Jamie Foxx or something? He's like, and then that's when so and so with that's me too. And then they're just like, yeah, Quentin.
But he wasn't
like,
leaning
like
into
Clinton.
it. Yeah.
Like it just comes on. It's kind of.
You could hear like the Bostonian accent, but I mean that was the other thing. He just like he did the.
All right, let me try this shit.
Yeah. He was just doing like just comparisons, like you got the Michigan left, and then you in Boston we bang U's, or I don't even know how you do the accent. How do you in Boston? I don't know. I'm not even gonna try. It's retarded.
In Boston, it sounds like this.
Actually,
you know what?
Actually,
Dude, the pink's way better. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
What?
I like sweeter things. This is like a little more.
All right.
I mean, I like the can, but. This almost tastes like that reminds me that tastes like more like an energy drink.
Okay.
It almost tastes like those amps or like those did. Whereas this tastes more, maybe it's too sweet for people. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I just sound like a mean guy who's slaying on this guy, but I mean, he just
back right in.
Anyways, I don't really care. Point is, anybody could have done like a better set about Boston, not even being from there. It was just really all right. And then the guy that looked like Jace went up after him. So
they do good.
It was quite Promethean. His set, I'd say. I think he's an alcoholic, and he's back on the wagon essentially, and his whole thing was like, I mean, it's just alcohol glorification, and it was really kind of it was fine. And he did this thing where he was like, "That's just Jimmy being Jimmy. That's just Jimmy being Jimmy," and it was
his
funny.
own third person though.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I was whooping.
You need to do that.
I could.
You know what you should do? You should do like a whole Gollum thing where you're like, the scene where Gollum's talking to himself. You should do something like that on stage.
Okay.
Incorporate.
Okay.
That could be kind of I think it would be fitting. Or when you do like go up in a dress, that's when you do it.
Yeah.
Like a mirror.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you do it, you're fucking. I mean, I'll do it.
No, you should. I was literally thinking about it. It was kind of. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
That could be in the skit.
I'll be the trans kid.
The trans consumer.
I'll be the trans consumer. So that's the battle.
That's the battle.
That's the battle, dude.
What are our notes? What else? Give me.
I think I don't love attention. Jesus. I really don't like having attention. That's like a big part of like why you would even become trans. If you become trans and don't want all the attention, you're not doing it for the
You just
right
think it's like a
reason.
higher form of just getting.
If you think it's actually
getting-
about like, I mean,
Well, what would someone else think it's about then?
being who God made me to be.
That's what a lot of people go for.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't. Well, you're asking like, I'm just trying to.
But isn't
I just don't think people.
kind of
Well, it seems like a lot of people. It seems like a lot of people get put into it because they're just like victims of like rape and molestation. That's ultimately what a large portion of it is, and that's just like
abuse.
Yeah, that just stems from abuse, and it's like that just makes me really sad. I mean,
But there is people doing it for attention.
yeah, but those are the creators that are. I mean, the OnlyFans people, and a lot of those people get actually groomed by the people with the money that are actually able to hand select and funnel money into these people, and then they end up being advocates for transgenderism, and then, I mean, it's a whole ecosystem,
movement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's like eggs, so to speak, or whatever, and those people are like borderline, just
they're
waiting
on
to
the
crack,
edge.
just wait, and then they can get manipulated really easily. Like they're a femboy, but they don't identify as trans. But then being trans essentially is just really becoming that experiment of the state and getting on the hormones, and then once you're on them, I mean, you have to speak positively of it, unless you're really on that next level where you don't actually care about government, but you. And I mean, you
like
need
so
wealth.
much-
You also need wealth. You can't really be poor and be doing this. You have to
It
have
seems like a lot of work, a lot of time.
and that's the other
back
thing.
to time.
People are getting into it and they aren't cut out for it. They're simply not able to do everything that it takes to maintain and appear convincingly.
It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort.
It's your whole life. It can't just be like a little kink. It's the serious one. It's their whole fucking life, and it's like
it's kind of like having
working.
a kid. It's like having a kid. It's like not having a kid or go trans. It's a commitment. Either way.
not have. I see. Yeah.
Because if you're gonna have a kid, that's basically your whole life.
That's saying I'm making the choice here. You shouldn't really renege on that kind of thing.
yeah.
Like, I mean, there's the case of with the guy that was working with Mr.
Like,
Beast.
I mean, look at like Casey
Tyson.
Anthony. Look at someone like Casey Anthony.
Well, we don't get.
He wasn't too deeply committed to being a parent.
No, not at all. Not at all. Her parents were. Her
I'm not
parents
saying
were
it's
taking.
the same thing. I'm just saying on a level of commitment.
Yeah.
It kind of is.
Yeah. No, it is.
Like anything.
It is the
doing
same
art,
question.
Doing, like,
it is
all
the
this
same
kind of
question.
stuff.
It's the ultimate question of like being self.
Well, the other question
not
is
that-
the other question is, did she do it?
No, not in the legal sense. People are gonna be so mad. Karen's gonna get so mad at me.
Innocent.
Yeah.
You're saying Casey Anthony's innocent? Are you? Or you think
she should have just aborted it.
You just think she's a?
She should have aborted it. The fact that she went through with it in the first place and then it ended up like this, somebody should have stepped in. And, I mean, I don't know, but then you can be like, I am. She probably lied about like being excited, like I'll go through with it, and then it probably just spiraled out of control. Yeah, maybe she did do it.
She's just a piece of ass.
Yeah, she's just a hot piece of ass that needs to get fucked, and she shouldn't have kids. And I'm sorry,
No, she shouldn't have kids.
she shouldn't have had kids. She should. All right.
Who else you got? Anyone
Moving
else?
on.
Anyone else you're pissed at? This could be a whole segment.
This guy named Brad. I'm
What?
trying to remember this guy. Oh, right,
Tell me
right.
about Pickle. Just tell me about Pickle.
Tell you about Pickle. Pickle was Pickle was a little bit ago. So this was like a week ago or whatever, and this is my first time debuting the MAGA hat in public. And Pickle is a like fat white guy from Detroit, and he's a felon, and he loves titties. I'm remembering now. Yeah, he did 5 minutes on titties.
That was like his set.
That was his whole set. It's just like getting molested at like age 15 by titties, getting suffocated by titties as a young man, and that's kind of what's shaped him and his whole existence. And he smokes weed and gets fucked in his ass with titties. Gets titty fucked in his ass.
He got raped by titties.
Got raped by titties. That's as he described it. Obviously, he told the story how he was like getting like fucked, and then the lady suffocated her with her fat obesity titty, her cancer tit, and then I guess the sensation was amazing, and he's like, "Yeah, I love titties."
It's like
but it's actually
that image of getting raped by titties, you know.
Well, it's actually really deep though, because there is that dichotomy between like sex and death, and it's like it's right there. It's like when you're encountering it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
it's the
people
same
like to
thing.
get choked during sex,
Exactly.
or people like wrap the belt around their neck while they're jerking off. And
A lot of people accidentally die. Yeah. Very sad.
Did they come though?
Not me though.
Have you done it?
No.
I haven't. I'll just
Yeah.
do it. Have you done it?
No, I have not done it. Have you?
I just
You
told you I
tried?
didn't do it. No.
Well, so did I. Then you asked me again.
Oh, okay. Calm down.
I'm sorry. Well, I hate being accused of stuff that I haven't done.
Well, I was just doubling down. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I've measured, but I don't have enough. I'd have to see the problem is you have to cut a new hole in your belt.
The best thing you have to do is
I've never looked up a
you just have to
tutorial.
hang something from the ceiling and just kind of dangle there.
Right.
I think that's the best thing.
Okay. It's so strange.
It'd be stupid to be like,
Yeah.
you just dangle from something. Kind of,
Yeah.
You probably throw up.
All right.
All right.
You've done it.
I haven't. I'm just imagining what it'd be like.
Yeah. You're just thinking it out.
Mechanics.
Yeah. Anyways, Pickle called me out. I mean, what fuck Pickle.
Yeah. What'd he say to you?
I don't know. He just asked me what. Obviously, he just asked me what if I voted, and I said no. He's like, well,
What's
I
your
don't know if he
reason?
was
Why
for.
didn't you vote? You're not real
Yeah.
about not voting. You don't have a reason not
Okay,
to vote.
so yeah, exactly.
And he does.
Oh, I see.
You privileged
See, it even
fuck.
confused me.
You privileged fuck. That's
Yeah.
what he's like, yeah.
Exactly. He's like, I can't vote. I'm a felon. I'm a 2-time
I
felon.
would vote. He's like, my vote would
Yeah.
count.
Yeah. Because I'm like fat carrot top.
He's like, if I could vote, me and my brothers would vote.
Yeah.
Kamala would be in.
Dude, I hate that we even brought that guy up. I mean, it was such a waste of however many minutes we've even spent.
Waste of space. So he shouldn't even
God.
be in this universe, right?
Jesus Christ.
Get
He's one of
him
these
outta here.
goddamn planets. He's a fat fuck. He'll never hear this.
These look like squid, aren't? Don't they look like the octopus? A bit?
They do, yeah.
And there's spider's web. A lot of same imagery throughout everything. Twister. You ever see that one from the 90s?
Mm-mm.
It's a great movie. The new one's not bad either. Kind of fun.
With Powell.
Yeah. Glenn Powell, yeah.
So I've like fist bumped this next guy. His name was Brad. I wish I didn't because now I'm pretty sure Brad like smokes crack. Is what I noticed. He was doing a lot of that. I noticed.
He's nervous, dude.
Nah, dude. So he was on a date with one of his coworkers. Fuck, dude. And she was he had her record, and I'm telling you, she was recording and she was looking away.
Oh, wow.
She couldn't look because he went up there
Not
and
good.
it was bad. This guy was drunk and he was high on crack. And he was like, I ain't got anything prepared, dude. And he was laughing like really insanely to himself.
Hey, he's just improv, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
All I have is, on a date, can you record me? Drug, crack, mouth wipe.
What if there was someone taking notes on you there the whole time?
Ned was taking notes on every single person. Mm-hmm.
So you guys were kind of like...
Yeah. Ned, I think, I'm a fan of Ned. Yeah, exactly.
You guys had each other in each other's crosshairs.
Yeah, no, he came up, he complimented, he said he enjoyed the set. I was like, that meant everything to me. I was like, all right. And he's like, come back. I was like, thank God. Because I genuinely felt bad about...
What did I do?
Yeah, well, because it would just focus me. I was like, you got to just write better. You got to
Back
actually...
to when you got kicked out of... Yeah.
Exactly, no, because I'm like, I can't...
You can't be the guy that gets kicked out everywhere.
Yeah, but I'd prefer to be somebody that he'd look to like put on stuff and like as like a
You gotta
solid
make relations with people.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta keep
And-
the stage separate from, behind off the stage, know.
And I started to understand, and I have like a respect for what he was doing up there. He's solid as the host, and he's just he gets it. He's sober like 7 years, and that was the other thing. After that guy that looks like Jimmy. He did. I mean, his set was it was inflammatory.
What was his thing?
He was just being a drunk piece of shit. He was like,
Jimmy
fuck.
thing?
Yeah, he was an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic.
What
and
was
he,
the saying he said? That's
just Jimmy being Jimmy.
Jimmy being Jimmy.
Jimmy being Jimmy, baby.
Dude, that's great.
It's crazy, and it's what Jay Avery. It's just a big, and it's
Yeah.
like if he had a crazy DMT button up and a Nirvana shirt on.
Oh man,
This guy was wild.
Yeah.
and he doesn't listen to any podcast. I asked him, "Do you know who Tim Dillon is? Do you know
Nothing.
this? Nothing." This guy knew none of that shit. And his set was just like really. I mean, it would offend people that are like sober.
yeah.
It was, and he didn't care.
Well, you think about art form and like that's pretty to look at, but it's also like kind of therapeutic to look at. Like it's pleasant to take in. Like take that into account for comedy because that's what separates some people. It's like this is actually kind of appealing. Like this is actually, you can. I don't care if it's offending, but there's like a layer of like comfort that's actually like.
Yeah.
I want him to take me home tonight. You know what I mean? Like that kind of feeling. Not fucking.
You know, I mean,
Hey, black lady.
Hey, black. Hey, black lady, what do you get when you? How do you get? I got a joke for you.
Don't do the joke, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's you want to like
I was gonna do a different joke.
you want to do
A worse one.
you want to. It's art, and art still is beauty.
Yeah, and
you know it still is.
I'm learning. I'm still a novice at that.
Dude, you had that hot chick came and watched just you. That was weird.
Yeah, I know. And then she left and got
Then she
fucked by
left.
some other guy because I was.
That guy was still there.
I literally think somebody came up and like tapped on her shoulders, like, "Yeah, I'll fuck you."
That's the guy who was talking to me about my hair. So that guy
Oh,
was
really?
fucking weirdo.
Oh, okay.
She was kind of, I don't know, but
I mean,
yeah, it was interesting.
yeah.
You should have like did crowd work on her.
Yeah, should have.
Should have come on her face.
Crowd work on her.
Yeah,
That's funny.
that is pretty good. Instead of like, dude, that's what I mean. Like the crowd work can be like, like fun. Like you can like make the audience feel like instead of like raping them, like, hey, where do you work? Like you fucking loser. Like, dude.
I just have to get more comfortable.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
you've done that, but I'm just saying that's what some of the
No, I
comments-
know. Yeah.
But make it like that's why that one guy's so
Make it
successful.
intimate.
Those girls get wet
Right.
watching him. Those women, like
Well, because yeah,
it's
they're
the same way guys get bricked up. Like it is sexual. Like that's what I mean. Like to the core of a lot of things, everything still is sexual.
it's the guy with the mic, dude.
Yeah,
The guy whose
Guy on
voice is
stage.
getting projected out into.
yeah. Oh, I'm saying like guys get bricked up at models. So like,
Oh, yeah.
use sex appeal. Like that's a big part of things still. Like
Right.
I'm not saying like sell, but you know what I mean. Like why do you
Yeah.
think OnlyFans is so success? Like sex is so it's a
Don't act like I'm
what it fucking
unappealing.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
Embrace the
Embrace
anima.
some of it.
Embrace my anima a little more.
And that goes for everyone who's trying to do like I mean it's kind of just
And that's also-
level that you got to be aware of like
That was the other thing. I spoke to Gabe, guy named Mike, and Lemon Sack after the Grass Shed Mike, and I was
those comics that
Yeah. And I was just like, I was laying out the philosophy. I was laying out the archetype, like what we should be trying to do up there. And it's like
people aren't even thinking that way.
Gabe is.
That freaks me out. Those
Yeah.
dots. You know what I mean? That's that thing. But that's such a all right. Go ahead. Sorry. I was like,
Oh fuck! Oh, they're showing the spider web, the neuron. Looks like a neuron, but it's a plant.
well, it's like those those holes.
slits?
It's like a thing. It's like a phobia thing.
It's a mesh.
Those holes. Yeah, it's kind of. But
Yeah.
that's like the core of things, man. So I mean, all right. So go back with the comics.
And I'm just laying out for him. I'm like, I'm really sick of like when I don't know if I explicitly talked about like black comics doing black comic things or whatever, but I think I said more so like activism. Like I hate the activism. I hate the advocacy
moral
for things,
stances.
the moral stances, and I made that
And
very
it's fine to have like I don't know. That
because I don't even think I take hard. My morals are amoral.
those things should come through like the story that you're telling or the jokes you're telling. You should kind of be able to tell like where this person's at. Whereas all these people are just like blatantly like, if Donald Trump wins, goddamn, like you're just
Yeah.
blatantly like telling people. You gotta like
You're
show it.
revealing yourself.
You're literally just like pulling your pants down. Like there's nothing artistic about that. It's like it kind of can come through the show, like come through the storytelling, come through the performance. Like, oh, he would probably like that, like association instead of just being like
Not giving away the whole game.
Ozempic. Fuck you if you judge me for Ozempic.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, a woman kept telling the fucking Elon Musk thing. I mean, that's months. I mean, it's just like it's so old, dude. Who cares? But the problem is when somebody sees an event, when there's an event like that, that's where
it's
the
their
myth.
meme coin.
That's where the myth takes place. Is at the event level, and when they see something like that, they're like, "Oh my god, it's happening again! It's happening again!"
Yeah, it's just stupid. It's just a talking point.
are
It's
so
literally just a talk.
fucking-
It's literally just
yeah.
a talking point. Just like for the news, like it's a talking point that people pick off Twitter and they make their own little news program.
Yeah, and if she hears this, I typically like what this woman does, but I mean, God,
I'm just critiquing like,
just like when
people's creativity. Like push yourself a little more. Like think a little deeper.
read
like
a book.
don't read the internet. Like just don't go off some surface level article. Like
That's the
you
thing.
can
That's what
get
comedians
into
think writing
things.
is, though. They're like on acts. Well, I mean, I'm on all these things, but I mean, it's just like
Take from that and transform it.
it's really
put it
basic
into
level
things.
writing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like turn it into what channel. I
Teach
mean,
me
most writers channel like take like an experience, like deep emotion, someone dying, blah blah blah. Like that one artist, I call him an artist because I feel like he really is that one comic, that one bald dude. He was cool, And it's like, because he's talking about personal things and he's channeling that into his artwork.
Talking about Chris with the
guy
red
looked
hair.
like a Nazi. No,
Oh yeah, Michael.
like that's like
he
you're
was
channeling
killed at-
stories and you're putting them into your, instead of just talking about wanting to kill your mom or blah blah blah. It's like, I don't know. It was different and it was more coming through
You would have liked to set up
rather than just like saying these things. You know.
he's gonna get so much better.
Yeah, he's
He's
kind
hitting
of gets
something hard right
it's,
now.
It's I don't know. I don't want we can't gloss on these people, but
That's fine. I'm
it's,
sure
it's just it is fun to talk about because I
Yeah.
do like comedy and it's like poetry, it's like spoken word, it's just it's acting, it's all those things kind of put together.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the goal is to make people laugh, and comedy can be tragic, but it still
makes
is
them comfortable enough to not like want
laugh
to
or just think a little bit, but not like. Not shit on their chest and just Vince McMahon them.
When I noticed I was doing that, but then you can actively dial it back in a funny way, and then that was that Gollum thing you were just saying. It's like
the two sides.
dial it back, like you're being completely and saying it verbally like that. Jim
That's kinda
Gaffigan
funny, yeah.
originated that, and it's like you're
Okay.
dial it back. All right, it's
the inner
like
dialogue coming out.
I've been saying like, how is he gonna do it? How's he gonna bring this back
That's
to
good,
myself?
Yeah. Well, it's like the self-awareness, like, ooh, yeah.
Oh, because I got to this. This is something I did during my set. I was talking about the firings. I was like, the firings are, and that are taking place in the government, in the forestry,
like
or whatever,
DOGE, yeah.
in DOGE, and like people are really upset about it. And I'm like, I'm not. I don't give a shit. And I'm like, oh no, how's he gonna do it now?
It's like,
'Cause
why are people upset though?
Because people are losing their jobs, and it's sad. And
So are other people that aren't in the government.
I don't know if I said this, but it's like you shouldn't stake your whole thing in the government system. And then I explained what a system was. So I'm like, the system is meant to propagate, and so the system cannot communicate. And no matter how many extra lines of data that you add to the system, it cannot communicate effectively what you just know intuitively that you should treat people with respect. It doesn't matter how many blacks, Asians, trans, gays, whatever
it's like this.
montage that you add in. It should just be at a lower level of meaning.
Natural, yeah.
Yeah, at just that.
But like, why are people getting upset who aren't federal workers?
Because
Fuck 'em.
they're retarded. Because they're staked on the myth. Because
They
they're
want to
still.
support this. Yeah,
I'm the consumer. I'm an American consumer. I support government. I support all these.
I'm a
things.
good person.
I'm a good person
Yeah.
because I do all these things. It's that myth. It's fake.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, and people can't penetrate that layer. That's ultimately the problem. Once you're able to look past that, truly look past that, that's when you gain access to all those other layers of meaning below that.
And creativity and just thought.
Yeah,
That's why we're going back to, like, going
because you're
back
able
to
to
time.
generate meaning from beyond one place. Because if you're only operating at one level, you only have one register that you're generating meaning for yourself.
Instead of falling for
Instead of
other
five.
people, instead of falling for other people's spells, you're making your own spells. I had this funny joke. I was like, man, I'm lucky. I got to you before the CIA did. I used my own little, you know what I mean? It's like we got our own.
It does feel like that sometimes.
We got our own CIA op here, though. You know,
Yeah.
but that was a joke. But like, it's kind of funny
That's the battle.
because that's what
Yeah.
CIA. You know, they're looking. That's what the chat said. How it's like that's why I was saying like it would get blocked. Not even just because what we're talking about, because like the practices and techniques that are being used, like it's what they do. And
You think we're doing this? There's definitely people that are doing even more insane
Well, that's what
stuff.
I mean.
Terrorism.
Yeah. Well, that's what
Terrorists
I
that are
mean.
using grok to fucking.
Oh yeah, to find how to murder people.
Yeah.
This is something that's
Man,
really cool.
I hadn't even
My
thought
one
about that.
poetry class was well, that's what I mean. There is certain caps that the AI needs, but then how do you discern that? So it's I don't know. This my one. He's like, I remember one morning. That's why it was always in the morning. I had poetry class in English and writing, and we'd sit around in a circle, and he's just like, just think about right now. There's actually people in the world and places like actively constructing or thinking how to kill people. You know, like literally, like that's just their goal. It's
Yeah.
like to kill others and
Kill
make
goys,
bombs
kill
and-
Americans.
Yeah, right now,
Kill Asian
as we're just
people.
sitting here in this
Yeah.
beautiful little
They're
morning.
learning. Yeah,
Right? And even right now, as we're talking about it, they're doing that. So it's like, it's
What do you-
wild.
and
But
people.
we're still all connected like that in that web. Like
Yeah.
they're still part of us. But for whatever reason, they're just directed and creating towards that. You know,
It's a different
working
shape.
towards that. Yeah,
Different shape.
different spectrum, different prism coming out of the prism. But yeah, but it's also just probably because what's around their environment.
Yeah, too. We did that to these people. That's all. That's what a lot of these documentaries kind of
Well, it's
point
not
to.
even like we, but just people like not,
Humanity. Yeah, yeah.
the species has gotten to a point of their psyche where it's accepted, but it shouldn't be at all.
I mean, I guess when I say we do, it's just like by choosing to. Well, I mean, I guess we don't really have a choice in the matter of what we're born into. That's that German idea of Geworfenheit. That's
You're
hiding.
born in, you don't get out.
That thrownness that you don't have a real choice in the world that you're into.
Yeah.
It has its own criteria.
But this is what I'm saying again. It's like you can go under their spells, or you kind of look through them and kind of make your own.
Yeah, you can't. You don't have to be blinded by the shiny myth. You can put on some sunglasses and you can dive deep into things, or look into the sun.
I just like Clockwork
Look into
Orange
the
is so
projection.
controversial because he was showing the operation. You know, that's
That's his whole. I mean, that's his whole
thing is,
discography.
He's always showing what people like they're doing to people, and he would just do it back, but make it way better. You know?
Yeah. No, movies and books are meant for programming. That's what. That's their objective.
Or just like or telling story. You know, there is like good stories.
Well, what's the point of telling a story then? It's to program an idea in your mind.
To give someone an experience that might never have it, and just gives them a different perspective or a different perception on things to teach. I want to say program's more like.
Well, program's just a word that encapsulates all those things.
But like teaching, I like thinking more teaching more rather than programming.
More human.
Someone.
I'm being very AI right now.
You're programming that's more authoritative. You're more like you're programming slaves rather than trying to teach and like let someone grow. Yeah. See those words?
Well, you have to see. We have been programmed, so I have to use that language in order because you have to counter. You have to reprogram people.
Yeah, who have heard these things. Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're right. That was one thing honestly I learned really well in college. I remember one professor he brought up the idea of relearning or de-learning, unlearning. You know, learning things you think and like rethinking things, and that is part of the college brainwashing that happens to kids, and they really get fucked, but. In certain aspects, it is good to reassess knowledge, rethink things, realign or reorganize your logic, in sense, or just how you or how you say a lot is like worldview, how you view things. But that's you can do that from seeing movies and books and real life experiences, and that's like that. But
and then the people miss.
There is like corporate programming through film and these art forms. Like that's what we get to. I mean, we talked about it.
That's
a lot.
The countersense objective.
That's the algorithm. That's people being programmed by the algorithm to create for the algorithm. You said a good thing the other day. It's like Mr. Beast is programming all these children to make sure they make algorithmic. I can't say it right now.
Algorithmically sound. Content.
Yeah.
Shout out. What is it?
And then who's that other
Salesforce, child of Salesforce.
It's weird you just said that because this morning I saw a thing. It was that Project X camera guy. What's his name?
Dax Flame.
Yeah, and he's talking to these younger kids about how to make content. Oh, he's talking with the Rizzler and that other kid about how to make content. Yeah.
Can we look it up? Should we look it up?
No, but I'll send it to you later. Right. But it's nothing like it's not even. But it's literally right in stride with what you were saying. Like there's teaching kids how to make art or content. They're not even calling it art anymore. Expression, it's content.
Yeah, you're working.
I hate saying
you're
that.
a beast of the machine.
People have been saying, and another thing I hate, like when I was around like the film industry more, people always said like, "Oh, we're gonna take time to make a passion project. It's a passion project. No, it's your fucking work. Like that's your work. Like the other thing should supplement your work.
There's just work.
Yeah, passion project, and it's some stupid fucking documentary. I never met anyone that made anything like their own creative.
A good passion
their own creative. Like they were always documentaries, or based on like their grandpa or some stupid fucking artifact from Detroit. Like nothing really creative at all. Nothing creative at all.
Yeah.
But that's why people don't like Tarantino. That's why I was always into Tarantino because that's coming from like. Right, boom, boom.
It's a child writing,
and then you dive deeper into with the other guys like Stanley and like their create. Like that's it. Like Wes Anderson. Like that's when I was really getting into Ghost. I was like, man, and no one was just like, deep. Let's make a documentary. I'm gonna get a documentary. It's a football documentary.
I'm gonna start a YouTube channel.
And well, that's not even like kids trying to be professional. I'm talking about people that are like trying to get jobs at like Fox Sports or like shoot Ford commercials, like this type of shit.
Dude.
Yeah, commercial. That's what I'm more talking about, like that. Like
that's soul sucking. I mean, that's just really being.
They get nice checks, but no.
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you're doing a good work for the system. You're doing great work for the technological system, dude. Amazing.
You get rewarded.
I bet you get paid. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I mean, that's the thing.
But honestly, with the lifestyle you kind of have to live, it's not really worth it because I've just seen it's like you got to live in a shitty house in Detroit.
Yeah, it requires adherence. You have to adhere to a bunch of things.
Yeah. You got to shop at Whole Foods. You got You gotta like
post every day. You gotta post every day.
And you have to be aligned. You gotta be vaccinated. You have to. So fuck that.
And like, what is this having?
And that kills
to do?
creativity.
Why do you what is this having? To
It's
do
the alignment.
things?
It's the unconscious aligning people
Yeah.
have to do to like get along.
So
Because
crazy.
heaven forbid if someone didn't want to get along. And that's not even getting along. This is kind of doing what you kind of
become isolated. You get called schizophrenic. If you,
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Or just yeah.
Again, because people can't penetrate that first layer of meaning, that mythic. I keep hammering that home because
Well, that's what it is, though. I mean, it's kind of what we're getting into.
these are real words
Kind
we're
of goes
using.
back to like the spell, the spell of time too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it absolutely does.
Scheduling and thinking, like
It ties right into it. So
feels like
so you know is time assist. I think time you have to place outside of this structure because time and space are more fundamental. I guess there'd be So is that the thing? Is time and space a priori? Is it before? Does it come before being, or does it come afterwards?
Oh, you exist in time, so
Yeah. So we kind of exist
you're out of
in
time
tandem.
when you're out of it, when you're not here. Mm-hmm. But when you're here, you're present. So you're in time then. Mm-hmm. You can break out of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess you can like the Samsara cycle. If you're like in between lives, is that really time? But what's beyond that? That's kind of when I was getting in with Chad about nothingness and that. But
And then how long can you be in that? And can you choose to exit that? And then what is it when you re-enter time? Then essentially after.
well, it's like a new cycle. And then, like I said, I think you're floating for a while, and then you go back in.
So being in
Time's just
Oh,
a big
so here, so-
machine. Like it's
yeah.
a big machine. Like it's in that rap I said. We're living in a time chamber. No one knows why. Like it's a time chamber. I love that. Like a chamber.
the body is the chamber.
Well, this whole thing's a chamber.
Oh,
Like
okay.
like think of the like I've said this before. But think of like Earth and the universe, like the Overlook Hotel.
Okay.
You're always coming back. You've always been the caretaker. You've always been the comic. You've always been the such and such. You know what I mean? That's an idea. There's a there's the Samsara cycle.
that.
There's that cycle in The Shining, but it's meant but it's in horror, and it wasn't in the. It's not in the Stephen King book, but I think Stanley put it in more.
Which is better than the Stephen King book.
It makes it more philosophical. It makes it a little more metaphysical. Stephen King's is straight up like horror. You know what I mean? It's psychological. It's just kind of crazy horror, like scary, but. Stanley added a little more philosophy to it, a little more ambiguity, and that's the mind creating itself because life's ambiguity. You don't know really what's going to happen when you know what I mean. So we create these lives to fulfill our time here, but it's just an ambiguous walking through. You get attached to things. Blah, blah, blah.
That's what it should be. Yeah.
What like artwork? Yeah, that's why it's the best artwork. Ambiguity, but that's when
Well, ambiguity disappears for a lot of people though because it
makes them not. They don't want to think, or they don't want to get
Because
into
that becomes- yeah.
They're so programmed. Yeah,
Well, because then the ambiguity, and then that creates just like unsuredness, and then
Unease.
and that's the unease, yeah, and that doesn't
that's when you start like
Sit
seeing
well with
reality
people.
for what it kind of.
and then that's when you go into the cave. You're like deeper into the cave
You
here.
look beyond the cave.
Yeah, bigger project. I need to
Yeah.
look.
You creep out of the cave. You start allegory like Plato.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at the sun the other day. That's just a big projector. I was fucking me up, dude. I was driving to work. I'm
Ain't
like,
it crazy? That's what I would think about. That's what they said
damn
about
it.
Einstein was like he was on a bus. That's when he started realizing at the
Yeah.
speed of time. He was on a bus and he was imagining himself on a beam of sun riding on a bike.
oh,
And
fuck.
that's the image he got in his mind, and then from that he started getting into the equation because that's what he realized. Like, what is light? It's just things just traveling down onto this material land. Like it is fucking wild. Like it's not talked about in those simple as a term, but
What's hard? Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to explain. But if you kind of
actually not
it's
that,
it's
yeah.
imaginative because it's just like a light bulb. Flick the light bulb on, it sprays. The sun's just constantly. It's a life source. It's just constantly spraying. Moon blocks it. You know it's wild. It's fucking wild. We're in a machine. That's what I mean. It's like a time chamber. It's like a fucking intricate little time chamber thing. And our bodies are no different than those fish bodies, but we're looking through these bodies, you know. And this kind of intellect that our brain's wired for having, you know.
my eyes hurt.
like the school of fish, like when you see schools of fish move together like that as one, it's so fascinating.
Or birds flying. You ever see those videos? Those guys like edit.
But it's like people walking.
Coordination.
It's like people walking, or those highway shots in Koyaanisqatsi. They're all driving together. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of thing. It says humans can communicate. Like that's what I mean. Like you wouldn't know how animals communicate with one another if they have big fucking egos. You know what I mean? They probably do because they're like the king of the land. You know, like the same way we have our egos, but we only understand because we communicate between each other. Like animals have big ass egos,
They do it telepathically.
or they know who's the big dog because he's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Instead of just like,
And you can display that through mannerism.
here's some of those shots, man.
Uh,
It's so wild. That's what I mean. Like, look at how we move. Same way fish move, kind of. Mostly in the same direction. You know what I mean? There's some wandering off, but like mostly it's all
it is quite strange what this is.
it's all the same kind of.
But it was never thinking that connected us to the spiral of life. We have always been connected.
Yeah, Six Flags.
over text.
Yeah, do it. I used to go there a lot. I'm not told a lot, but
How accurate? I mean, this is obviously not that. I mean,
yeah, that was there. I have a picture of me. So
there's a merry-go-round as soon as you walk in.
yeah, so
That's how most parks. That's how Cedar Point is too.
we lived like when we moved out, we still lived there for like 6 weeks because we were waiting to move up to Michigan. So we stayed in like a suite, and they had like a pool. It was awesome, and it was like 5 minutes from Six Flags, and you can literally see the Titan, that big orange one, from the room. Yeah, it goes underground. See, look at it goes underground. No wait, yeah, see,
Oh, right here.
yeah, it was pretty cool. I didn't go on it then. I was pretty scared, but
Yeah.
I went on when we went back down in like 2009. One time we went to Six Flags, and it was great. But yeah, we went. I remember a couple times like we would go in the suite, and we go during the day, and then you go back at night when there's less people, and yeah, it's fun. It's not like Cedar Point, probably how it, like in Ohio if you're nearby it, Toledo.
I love Cedar Point.
That was
I wish I'd get abducted at Cedar Point.
they had that big wooden coaster. Go up. It's a big monster.
Round one here?
Yeah, it's a big boy.
What's it called? This? The
That was like
Giant?
the Texas Giant. Yeah,
It's funny.
yeah. It's just like a big. Fucking
So
wooden
I've always
coaster.
wanted. So this is interesting because I've always wondered how accurate these are.
Oh yeah, they are. It's
This is
great.
actually pretty
The
accurate.
water ride, I've done that.
Yeah.
What's this one called? Right
Splash
here.
Waterfalls.
What's this one called?
It's called
The white.
Judge Roy's Scream.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Judge-
That's kind of like the Blue Streak at Cedar Point.
Yeah. This looks much better than the Blue Streak.
It's a little big.
Blue Streak sucks.
Texas size.
They should tear it down and put up something new.
That's like there for tradition though. They'll never tear that down.
They ought to.
Go up to those ones.
They ought to.
What's the green one?
Shockwave?
Okay.
Double loops?
Double loops. That's along the highway. Yeah.
Yeah.
You drive right by. You see it all the time.
Oh, really?
Last time I was in Texas, I drove. That's the Sky Tower or something.
Old Derek.
Nice.
Oil Derek. That's
Yep.
nice.
What's that?
What's in here?
I think it's like I think they have like zoo.
Runaway.
Oh yeah. So
Oh,
you
wait a
go in
second.
there.
I
And
can
it can go in night. You can go inside there. It's dark in there. Yeah. It's pretty
Dude.
cool, dude. It's pitch black in there, so it's like you're in space. It's like
Man, this is. I mean, Cedar Point used to have one that was indoor, but they wrecked and they put up something. I don't know what it made room for because they.
well, it's Looney Tunes. It's themed.
Yeah.
It's really, they got Wile E.
Oh, they had a
Coyote.
Looney Tunes theme.
Well, this is Looney Tunes. That's what Six Flags is. It's like Looney Tunes. It's like so Bugs Bunny, Wile E. Coyote, all the whole crew's there.
Who does Cedar Point have?
Cedar Point's like Snoop. No, that's
Snoopy.
Michigan
You know that? No, that is. They
is
do
Snoopy?
Yeah, it is Snoopy.
Snoopy's
They
on
do
it.
have that. That's their property, right? That's crazy.
It is Snoopy, or is that like Michigan Adventures? But isn't Michigan Adventures like
It's
Cedar
probably
Point?
most. Yeah, Cedar Point definitely has access to Snoopy and all that intellectual. That's interesting to think because Disney has Disney stuff.
Oh yeah,
and they have to have like
like
the
a
Charlie
mascot.
Brown.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then they have Halloween. They do Halloween stuff here
Weekends.
too.
Halloween Weekends is it's its own awesome thing.
Go to another ride real quick. There's scroll back.
Oh, Douglas.
Scroll up. Scroll up. I can't. It's too. I mean, like zoom out. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the Titan.
Yeah.
What's the colored one there? Like the one that was like
German
a
colored
snake?
one?
Yeah, the snake one. It's like a snake. There's no tracks.
Oh, yeah, you just slide on it.
Yeah, it's awesome. The lava. Yeah, it's like a
Lava
snake.
Bora.
And then you have that. That's there. That boat. That's there. They're all here, man.
This here. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that's
They got all this stuff.
that's true.
The water ride's pretty cool. What's that called?
Ozarkus.
Oh, that's sponsored. Ozarkus, like the. And then the Titan. Click on the Titan real quick.
This
The
orange
orange one, yeah.
one.
Boom.
It's got all the stats.
That's pretty cool. The amusement park. That's such a great. Where was the first amusement park made? Because everyone tries to attribute water parks to America.
Greece.
What?
Greece.
All right, you trying to say like the.
I bet like Greece and like Switzerland. Well, Switzerland has, have you ever seen
Look
those?
it up. Might as well just find it up real quick. I mean, roller coasters.
Switzerland does those alpine coasters through their mountains
Yeah.
where there's no, it's all gravity and
Yeah,
you
but
control
who
that thing.
capitalized off it?
Asian people, and
Who made it an amusement
Nazis.
park?
it's gonna be like in 1937,
The German.
Germans.
Probably. Who created the Ferris wheel?
You've heard of the World Fair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1846.
Theme park. Origins. European Middle Ages.
Jesus. All right. Well, this is like it's like a circus.
Yeah. Well,
First Ferris wheel.
should I be asking Rob? Why am I googling this?
Yeah. Modern theme park concepts. Because I always wanted to have a theme park. Call it Grantland. 1884. Lamarcus, a black guy.
Well, I said with roller coasters. So wooden coaster, though simple by today's standards, is hit offering.
Coney Island.
Yeah.
So America.
So right about the time that the airships were flying and people were seeing airships, right around that time, 70s and 80s.
Search when's the first water park? 1960s.
Yeah.
Is it?
Lazy rivers.
Yeah. See? That's like when mobile parks and all that were probably starting to, like family shit. Like water's fun. They're like, water's fun. Hey.
Let's just wade in water
Yeah.
for hours and turn into prunes.
And then we'll slide down slides.
Then we'll go to McDonald's.
Or we'll just stay in a motel for a bit and get free breakfast in the morning.
And then we'll go to McDonald's.
And then, yeah. At some point, we're going to McDonald's.
Yeah, you be
maybe twice.
You be damned.
Hey, water parks are fun. I've been to a couple. There's one in Texas called Wet and Wild. It's right across from.
Yeah, it's written right here.
What?
Yeah, where do I see it? Right here. Wet and Wild, 1977.
Oh, in Texas?
River Country. And yeah, no, I don't know. It doesn't
No,
say where,
it's
but it's
just
called
Wet
Wet
and
and Wild. It was
Yeah, it was a cool
that's
park.
definitely it.
They got those wild slides that are like black and there's just in tubes and they're like, you know what I mean? There's.
Yeah, I bet Girls Gone Wild is really mad that was already taken for the name. Damn it. I guess we just do Girls Gone
Wild. Yeah.
instead of Wet and,
Oh, yeah.
Wet and Wild
Would've been-
edition.
Would have been perfect.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. Is it still around? Like Playboy's still around.
Well, probably just the vintage stuff. I doubt that they're allowed to do that stuff.
What do you mean?
It's all
Well,
just
it's like nowadays it's just like
Yeah,
you see on
everybody's-
TikTok
yeah.
and like those kind of
I mean,
the Hawk-Tua girl is basically Girls Gone Wild.
women just get to do it for themselves rather than men owning them and
Right,
owning
putting
the
it on
footage.
camera. Yeah.
They own the footage.
Yeah, the women own the footage now.
rather than the man with the camera owning the
Yeah.
footage. That's the difference. Yeah.
Not the weird Jew guy with the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, yeah, women should have that.
That's
that
good. That's a
power.
good distinction.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I saw that recently.
You did? Oh, you fucker. I thought you came up with that.
Well, I mean, I developed it now.
Where'd you see that?
Where did I see that? Some take on Twitter. Some account.
X?
Yeah, on X, excuse me. Yeah, I don't even need to be saying that.
Yeah, what are you? Like some...
Yeah, just a really enlightened person.
I mean, that's
on
great. I mean, that's a
Twitter.
great view. That's a great thing. Yeah.
It's a woman. It's a woman. So I actually.
I always
can
liked
follow
amateur.
it.
I always liked the amateur porn more than like produced porn.
Yeah, and that's a lot. Yeah.
Like self-produced porn.
What's scary? Because I mean, there's like a whole crew. You can tell that
more real.
There's a weird.
There's like it's actually more realer too.
Yeah, well, there's a weird air when they're like on a
Like
full
people
real
are
porn
watching.
site.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with like any film. Like you got to strip your set down. Like you really do, man. Like the more people on set, it's just like, and then you just have like energy getting sucked out. Like who are these people just walking? Like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? It's like it goes off for other jobs too. It's like you got to strip things down. Like.
And if the guy that's like running the production is also the one getting sucked off, there's like a real crazy ego thing.
Well, it's like, well, I'm just doing what I want to do, basically.
Yeah, well, he's in charge and he can be like an insane person. It's just
Yeah.
like-
Controlling the whole op.
yeah.
That's why I gave up for Lent, dude, drinking.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Longest I have gone without drinking is like 10 months.
Oh.
That was a couple of years ago. But yeah. But I don't even really drink that much. But when I do, I kind of drink a lot. But really only when we do this podcast or when I edit it. Sometimes I'll just have a drink or two.
I haven't drank in like a week or two, a couple of weeks.
But I thought that was
That's
like
not
a
a
good
binge
challenge.
drink.
I like having like challenges where it's like, all right, let's not do this.
Yeah, it's good to challenge yourself. Let's not do that. We don't have to do that. I just
You can
forget I said
empower
that.
yourself by challenging yourself.
Yeah.
You should add that kind of stuff into your set, dude,
Challenge yourself.
to empower yourself.
Yeah, empower you. Well, that needs to get wrapped around. I should eventually empower the audience to go out and like to put on the
Dude.
sunglasses I gave you.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what it should come
That's
to.
where it wraps up. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't, there's been no exit delicately. It's just been the fucking helicopters 9/11. I'm not suicidal. Good night. Which isn't that bad. It's saying I'm not suicidal. And then
Yeah, it's always good to let people be like reassure still.
let's see here. We were here earlier. We were reading off these people.
Anyone else?
Yeah, there was an attorney. There was a fat guy attorney. I thought he was a good speaker, but he actually turned out kind of be a shitter. That's horrible. That's not the right thing. He just did a lot of cliche like Jesus jokes.
What did he have to say about Jesus?
He called Jesus Jay at one point.
Jay.
Yeah,
What I was calling
wrote
you,
that down.
Agent J.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Isn't that kind of interesting?
It's kind of interesting.
And then you had that image of Jesus pulled up, and you're like, "That's me."
Yeah, it's me walking into an open mic, the Praetorium. It's a picture of the Praetorium.
Interesting.
So the feature, I don't know. I didn't get her name. I forgot to listen, but it was just like a mom set. It was like a total.
She was the main.
Yeah,
like-
she did 10 minutes, and it was all like pussy talk and like the whole set was just my pregnancy. It was the Ali Wong set where like. And so
There's like pregnant.
there were good gems in there, but I mean, like I just didn't like. I don't like that whole.
There's like mom
Structure.
influence, well, obviously, but there's like
Yeah.
pregnant mom influencers, and it's like a whole, yeah. It's just suck you in.
It was good. It was good that she got the time to flesh everything out, because it's so hard to really do a set. 10 minutes is much better than 5 if you're able to get it. But I did have a note. I didn't. But she did like a joke about her like tits. Again, it's all.
We don't have to talk about. Yeah, we don't have to talk about their actual jokes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck her. Fuck women.
All right.
Next.
Anyway,
All right. So this was the other thing. So there was this guy named Griffin. His last name was something like that, and he was there.
Polish.
Yeah, he was there with 2 women in the back, and this guy looked like he had a big like Ron Burgundy mustache. He was wearing like dead guy's clothes, as he like said, and so there's this guy who's definitely gonna like have sex with these women like American Psycho style in the back, because he eventually goes up and does a really shitty set.
It wasn't good.
It sucks. So I do have so. It was funny to like juxtapose him, like who's definitely going to get laid because he had a conventionally good set,
Right.
enough where the women were like cackling or whatever,
Oh, so they're like, okay.
compared to the
I don't
guy.
feel ashamed.
Yeah, the guy Brad saw earlier, the crackhead
drunk,
who was
yeah.
on the date with this girl who he works with, this woman that he works
I
with.
like Brad. Sounds all right.
It was really bad. I wish I didn't. Yeah.
Oh, shake his hand.
Yeah. I mean, it's just.
You shook his hand.
I fist bumped. I wouldn't shake. Yeah, I wouldn't shake most people's hands. I shook Ned's hand. I wouldn't.
Well, you guys are contemporaries.
Yeah, exactly sure. I said fuck like Pat. Yeah, it was just One guy was gonna be having sex. The other one probably. I mean, it was gonna be like really sad. It could be really sad sex, but one guy was gonna have really cool sex. Yeah, I wrote white men. When people talk about white men, it's boring because I think same one we're talking about the salute was also talking about white.
Yeah,
men.
it's just like
being
on
a
the
white
surface.
woman talking about a white man is just
Stupid.
while being married, engaged
To a white guy and just
Like, have some fucking presence.
Like all these military guys are low key gay.
Yeah. Stanley always points this out in his film.
Well, it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of gay. They put all these men in like this factory to like program their mind. Like, it's a sad thing, really. Me and Karen were actually kind of talking about that the other day. And then they expect these people to come back. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. It's mind control. That's programming. What that like militaries, that's like programming, conditioning, reconditioning, deconditioning. You know.
Yeah, that's what you're seeing.
What?
Well, yeah, it's ultimately what you're seeing or what
Yeah.
you're being shown.
Well, it's just like, but
can be-
it's like a machine. Like to go into the army, it's like boot camp. Like you're getting programmed. You know, brainwashed.
Yeah, and that's not like kind of written in the fine print anywhere. People just.
But it's just kind of what it is.
Well, it's obscured by like, oh, I'm doing this for my country. The simple idea that I'm doing this for.
And then it becomes a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one way to make a living, though. It's fine.
Well, I mean, not everyone makes
It's a
a living
living.
out of it, though. Like for like most, you know.
Well, I guess those are the people
come back
that don't know what they're getting into. Then,
with some real trauma. You know what I mean? Some people only do it for the 4 years right away.
I mean, you can technically work for the military and only work at a computer or whatever, like process.
Well, I'm just actually talking about like soldiers.
Talking about soldiers
like
specifically?
guys that
Okay.
like spend time with each other, like all
actually
day.
in it. Okay,
Yeah.
not working for
Not like a
government.
military like contractor. No, like real soldiers. Yeah.
What about somebody who works
Boots on the ground.
Oh, boots on the ground. There you
Boots
go.
on the ground.
Boots on the. That's more definite.
I should have clarified that maybe.
That's okay.
I don't know. What were you thinking? Like military contractors that like work at
Like somebody that like provides like
information or intel, more like that. I'm talking like
that.
I'm talking more like soldiers, like
Some number crunch who works in an office like processing like this. How many kids got killed and
that was the least person.
somebody has to look at that number.
I was talking about like a real like someone in the shit.
in the shit.
Yeah.
But how do you also have the dissonance to just like they killed how many did Team Bravo?
Oh, like you're
kill?
saying to do that?
Yeah, I mean those are stats.
Oh, that's compartmentalization. You're
Yeah.
just compartmentalizing things. You're just taking stats down.
I guess it's easier to have dissonance in that case. But yeah, no.
But I'm
boots
just
on
saying, like the
ground's a lot
machine, the
different.
whole thing in itself, it's like a brainwashing machine.
Well, yeah, we got to have strong soldiers. You can't have
Oh yeah.
weak.
I'm
men.
not like saying. I'm just saying that's what it is. Like
Did you see Trump? He got rid of transgenders in the military. I mean, in my opinion, they should be like funding like really good spy.
yeah.
spies.
Well, that's what the transgender.
That's
thing
ultimately
should
what
be.
they. I mean, that's what. They're a
They
spy.
should be a spy.
Yeah.
Not boots on the ground.
But and then here this
Let
is
boots
that-
on the ground just be the high school job. Like let that.
Yeah, and they should have that gender fluidity that everybody talks about. That's when it really.
Those are the
applies.
spies.
Those are spies.
No, you
yeah.
use those people for spies.
Exactly.
6 different
so
languages.
That's some
Interchangeable sexuality.
Exactly.
Will fuck anything or anyone.
Yeah.
Numb to it all.
Exactly. It's so wild.
That's a spy.
That's a trans person. That's what it's. Because
Get them in, but that's not what we're talking. I'm talking boots on the ground.
that's what a lot of the biggest creators that actually
Those people
like,
don't get brainwashed. They're already ready for that.
They
more
get
so.
yeah. I mean, they get groomed right into it from
Oh, you're still talking about I'm talking about like international spies
international
with no
spy-
identity.
But how are they
With
not?
no identity?
I mean,
People that you don't.
they're
see,
just
you know,
people being used, though. Ultimately, right?
entrapping like other people. That's the type of spies I'm talking about.
Well, I think that maybe a lot of these people. I feel like that's kind of what the goal of a lot of like popular.
Well, that's more like you said, like program like on YouTube, like those types. That's
Uh-huh.
like an agent, but a spy is unknown, dude. Spy has no identity.
Mm-hmm.
Agents and spies. I think you're kind of described as more like an agent of the state
Yeah, I'm talking.
to
About,
influence, but a spy is out there like.
you're talking more macro. I'm talking more micro.
No, I'm talking about micro.
You're talking about more.
I'm talking about like a spot, like a trainee. I'm talking about like a person that's like, there's like a tool to like entrap people, get in really close to other people. You'll never know. Whereas like,
So does this person have autonomy?
What do you mean? They're like Tom Cruise. They're just like, you don't know.
Do they get to
Ethan Hunt.
dictate what they do, or are they ultimately
They're
at
assigned
the
missions.
surrender?
Assigned mission.
So it's like the Evangelion. It's like the Rey in Neon Evangelion, where she's like her father's creation. Or she's like trans. She's like, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh man,
I'm just talking about like a personality that can do anything. Like completely, like it's just like a piece of rubber.
yeah, that's like
One couple months
perfect to operate.
for like 3 years, they're like a Russian spy, like a woman, and then 2 years later, they're in like Saudi Arabia as a man,
yeah.
doing fucking other. You know what I mean? Just
They've got like psychic abilities.
they're just like they're shape shifting.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
I can picture. I imagine it's
A better actor.
a true,
Yeah,
true
true performer almost.
like a,
Shapeshifter.
like a chameleon. A shape,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
A shapeshifter, exactly.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Like the octopus. The octopus can like change colors
Yeah.
and like blend
chameleon.
in,
Yeah, he said. Yeah,
move in and
different
out of
arms,
any shape.
has
yeah.
their hands in a lot of different things.
So
That is cool. Or animals and insects that can change colors as like their main defense, hiding as a main defense, almost like waiting. It's interesting. Like those fish, you know what I mean? They'll hide into the sand, and you don't even know nothing's there, and then it's like,
Yep. I've seen the commercial for zoo books. I know what you're talking about.
it's just interesting.
Everybody in their head just pictured I'm telling you, anybody that heard that just pictured exactly what I'm talking about. The zoo books commercial.
It's also kind of like, no, that's the one. Never mind. I was thinking of the other fish and SpongeBob.
You used to order magazines with just pictures of animals to look
Yeah.
at with maybe some. I've never owned a zoo book. I only have seen the
Commercials?
You
I
had
used to
zoo
have,
books,
I used
right?
to have a lot of subscriptions to things like Sports Illustrated for
Yeah,
Kids.
you're lucky. All I had
National
was
like those type of things. But yeah, animals, CCS, magazines, skates.
yeah. All my dad would get was Home Living and Maxim, dude. Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, but those are it came in my name. I was getting that was my
you're
mail.
getting
I was like, where's my mail, Mom?
Yeah, I was allowed to if I can. Yeah, if I asked my mom, can I get a subscription to anything? She's like, get the fuck out of here. Go do math.
Were you good at math, though?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, that's the only thing I was. Yeah, yeah.
When you said you stopped giving a shit in math when you started moving around?
Geometry.
Like so middle school?
Right around geometry. No, I meant like high school freshman year. Yeah. Then that was it.
Do you think these people were good at math? They even have math?
I mean,
Counting
no,
sheep, herding, those type of numbers.
Well, they didn't have to. Well, see, that's the thing. Were they really counting, or they can just like look at they'd be able to look at a field and be like, I'm missing a sheep. They wouldn't count.
That's
per
what I mean.
se.
It's more like grouping.
They took stock.
It's like grouping. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, huh.
They would just be able to notice that one was missing because they didn't need
Things are looking light.
because they relied on something different. They didn't rely on
Crops or like less food's being eaten.
Yeah.
Or the grass. There's more grass here that's usually been being herded. You know.
They didn't rely on having enough money in their bank account to put gas in their car to,
Well, they have to think
keep going
about it.
places. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a completely different
Logic.
world,
System of logic. You're thinking. Yeah.
different shape in which you filter reality through. Whereas they're relying on cyclical crops, agrarian, a completeness, a cycle.
Yeah. Which we still are too, but now it's
If
just
you
more,
find the right, not where we live,
But I mean, farmers still are growing like more like that.
but
But
we're not relying on it.
no. Well, I mean, the stores aren't a way to get the produce, but really,
That's not directly.
most people just go to McDonald's instead.
We're separated away from that as the consumer.
Yeah.
And we actually, I mean, yeah, that's all it is. Because also, I mean, the reality of a lot of the modern day like farming, we're just like slaughtering cows like really in horrible ways, and you don't really want to
I mean, I don't
even
have a
know
problem
about
with
that or
slaughter.
think about that.
I mean, dude, if you like a steak, you're not gonna, you can't be opposed to slaughtering cows.
But I mean, people used to do it like ritualistically, like once a year they'd have like a festival
Like the
tradition.
end
They-
of,
they hack the thing in half, like end of what Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. That's like tribal. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, and it is.
Yeah. We've indulged
You
ourselves.
gotta get your steak quicker now. You want that prime.
I might have a steak later. My mouth's watering.
There you go. We pull it out of the fridge. Just
Yeah.
pop, boom.
Yeah, I was asking Chad about Ashura, asking him about like Bible stories and comparing Moses and Abraham. Do you know Moses led like it was like hundreds of thousands of like Israelites that Moses was leading. Hundreds of that.
Have you seen the movie? He parts the sea.
Oh, the what?
Ten Commandments.
King of Egypt,
That's what he like.
the Prince of Egypt.
Moses. He leads the people.
The Russell Crowe movie?
No, it's like made in the 70s or 60s. Like the epic. I think it's called the Ten Commandments. It follows Moses. The film. Yeah, 56. It was like those epics they made.
Oh, this looks dope.
It's in line with like Spartacus and like all the like Cleopatra. You know, they made these 4-hour epics, big, huge cast, big stories, big epic stories. You know, you never seen it? They play it all the time around like 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Holy shit. I'll just bookmark it. So I'll definitely.
Yeah, it's kind of like a thing. They always put it on around Easter on TV,
like
ABC, like local
on cable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am one of those. I am a snob about people having cable. Like, why do you even have cable?
Like basic cable. Though. I'm just saying, like, it's just always on. Like, people can just anyone will watch. It's like broadcasted out. I really want to. I want to like pull up archives of public access to or public television, like those old footage where you just rent out time on a channel and just put your own show on. Like before YouTube, which back in the 80s and 70s and 90s, they'd have like I think it was called late night public access TV or something, and people would just rent out time and space and like just have their own show. They just had random channels with like random shit on, basically like YouTube, but it was just broadcasted. There's a movie called Videodrome. It's kind of like that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a name I've heard come up. I'm pretty sure that's
By Cronenberg.
somebody cited.
What's his name's in it though? James Woods.
Oh.
It's it's pretty weird. It's not. I don't want to say it's weird, but it's it's pretty weird. It's got like some holy mountain kind of vibe, like that weird kind of feel to it. Cause it's all like the art design's like really real, like produced real and prosthetic-y kind of, but it's like
Cronenberg, you'd say?
James Woods. It's really sexual too. Psychosexual.
James Woods, wow.
He's got like a genius IQ apparently, like 160.
Yeah, this looks wild.
It is, especially for the 80s. Like someone like seeing this in the 80s in a movie theater would have been crazy. Because it's just different from anything out. Like even the way it's produced and like I said, the art direction, the prosthetics. It's like kind of really hallucinatory. And honestly, it's kind of right around the time Poltergeist came out, and there's a lot of stuff with the TV. So that's kind of something must have been going on with the TV. Meant like people were really getting, people were really focusing on the TV as like a portal. It seems like or like a thing. See, look at that image. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's a portal for ideas and
Something's reaching out.
spells.
Yeah, imagine like you perform a miracle and then people like keep expecting you to like perform miracles, but you like don't even really believe in yourself that much. Mm-hmm. And then like everybody likes like you
There's this expectation.
gotta do something, dude. Like I'll promote you. You gotta keep doing miracles, bro.
And then it's like, fuck, it becomes a task
Fuck,
every time.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I bought pizza for everybody one time and everybody thinks
Now
I'm
they
like
expect
Jesus
it all
yeah.
the time.
Fuck. That's gotta be so hard on a person. Can you imagine how hard that's gotta be on like somebody like a leader or something?
Yeah, expected.
And it's like what? But then it's like you're for other people. It's like what point are you're no longer yourself.
And then just
You're for
falling out.
humanity.
What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about instead of thinking about yourself, you're always thinking about
for others.
for the sake of humanity.
Yeah. Well, you're living for others, then you serve.
Yeah.
Living to serve.
Mm-hmm.
Uphold.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. I mean, I don't think anybody puts themselves in that position. They get placed there by somebody.
Well, people look up to it kind of. Who's ever like providing in a sense. Or providing whatever that people are really liking. It's like that lady kind of that movie you were saying that she died at the end.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm free.
Yep. Anna and Elizabeth, if anybody wants to watch it.
What was it called?
Anna and Elizabeth.
Anna and Elizabeth. It was made in
Anna und Elizabeth. Yeah, it's on
19 what?
33. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
This footage is really cool. Tyra Banks. Oh yeah, there's a straight porn in here. Yeah, you've seen this before.
I've seen an asshole.
No, I'm saying you've seen this before though, right?
Yeah, I have. Not. It seems like it's always like there's different images in here.
Well, it's so different. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched it on my phone as well, so
Well,
that'll make a difference. Yeah.
that'll do that.
Well, that's the thing. There's porn interlaced because it's like you watch porn and then you have to go out and like live your life.
You other
It's
things
so
that's
strange.
mixed in, like the
It's
imagery
so
is like
straight.
mixed in.
Yeah.
It's mixed in with reality.
And that's why it's like it seems so. I mean, that's why there's. I mean,
It's not just
not everybody
porn.
watches porn, but there's.
That's just not
yeah,
porn. That's just anything on a screen almost. That's what I was thinking about. It's like
Yeah.
how much I was honestly thinking about this. Yeah, how much people just look into their screens and learn all this information, but there's so much information around you.
Yeah.
That's why I mean that Osiris character is just like
Yeah.
there's so much life, but everything's just everything we read and learn through and learn about through everything. I knew it's all through a screen.
Mm-hmm.
Goes back to that Videodrome image we were just talking about in the poltergeist. You know, people were exploring those ideas around that time. But does that turn you off?
No. It's just I see. I mean, I don't.
But the screen, dude.
I hate this fucking sissification with the words on the screen. Those, you obviously. I mean,
Do you have the screen, or do you have the screen have you?
yeah. I think it's got me pretty.
Showtime. Sissification. Go off on that. What is that? What do you mean by that?
It's like a category of pornography where it's just like captioned content, and it's a lot of like seizure-inducing cuts.
It's like MK Ultra. Yeah.
and it's aimed to feminize.
This is really cool footage.
yeah.
Oh, it's aimed to like lower your mind. Yeah, it's aimed,
It's aimed to
be-
turn you gay and trans.
Yeah. That's that MK. I've seen those things. I remember seeking, like looking for the edit. Yeah, and it's like
They're hot.
it's not even hot. It's like
It's just
no.
just
It's like
insane.
there's a mental. That really is like brainwashing editing. Like it's wild. This is cool. This is real footage somewhere. Wild. I always thought that'd be a cool scene to shoot in like a movie, like to like stumble upon through the forest and you just see like,
a guy levitating.
and then they look and there's might be people circled around him. You look over and yeah, it's wild. I don't know what this footage is, but it's obviously archive footage from somewhere with all this other shit. Could be anything. Some VHS footage from Africa from the you know what I mean? It's wild. See, look at those people recording
That'd be pretty cool.
the ground.
People want to go to
soil.
Mars. They haven't even been to Africa.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? People want to go to Mars. They
I
haven't
haven't been to the most parts of the ocean.
haven't been to
I mean, the ship
Antarctica.
keeps blowing up.
Haven't even been to Antarctica.
That'd be a weird thing to put out in the public. They'll be like, "We're going to we're hitting the caves of
We
Antarctica.
can't tell you why, guys, but suddenly we really like Antarctica.
We
for some
want
reason.
we want Antarctica.
It's like
We're going
really
to
important
Antarctica.
for some reason.
Be funny.
Well, we have to get Greenland, so we're closer to the North Pole. We got to at least have one of the poles. Can't let
Santa gotta get it from Santa Claus.
yeah. How are we gonna kill Santa Claus? Santa Claus is actually like I don't even know who is in charge up there. Who is in charge of the
Saint
North
Nick,
Pole?
dude.
Saint Nick. Yeah, I'd be a different person if I played Halo. Can you imagine? I mean, if I'd played Halo and lived in Ohio and then went to college in Ohio.
What college would you have gone to? Would you have gone to? Ohio State, Cincinnati,
I don't know.
Toledo,
It's hard to imagine, but
Bowling Green,
well, it just depends on the whole trajectory.
Ohio.
You have to really you'd hope maybe Ohio or maybe like somewhere a friend was going or something, or
I think like, if I stayed in Texas,
probably out of state. Probably maybe ultimately leading. Maybe I would go to Michigan.
U of M,
Maybe I would have ended up here anyways.
Michigan man,
but in school still.
destined.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about in Texas. I would either gone to like maybe Texas or TCU because TCU is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor, I don't know. TCU has a cool film program too. So is Texas. I know I probably would. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe not. Because when I was in Texas, I liked hockey a lot as a kid. It's odd to like in Texas, you know. Like I didn't really like. I mean, I like football, but I don't know. Who knows? You never know. How I was more in the city. You know, I think about how I would have grown up like in a city more.
Yeah.
Instead of like more in a smaller town. Because it was like right, yeah. No.
It's hard to imagine seriously. I mean, you can fantasize. I don't like to fantasize like that. I don't know.
There's really no point in doing
there's
so.
no point.
Really,
That's why I can't even really indulge it. I don't know. Even for the show.
it's just a brain thought.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. We're not
there's a
doing,
lot of people out there that have done that. It's just an alternate reality that could have happened or could have been, but ultimately it's out of your control, just like a lot of things are.
could write a
It's like
book
being
about
born
it,
in the
I
first
guess,
place.
yeah.
It's out of your control. Like you were saying, like, why this time? Why this reality? Why right now? Oh. It's a weird time, though. It's a weird time to be experiencing, to be juxtaposing some of this imagery with like this Victorian time, but both two different time zones. That's 70s footage, you know what I mean? We were watching that in 20, 40 years later. It's so cool to like think about documentation. That's what I mean. Like what they were having, the porn they were shooting in like 1920 is probably not too different from now. We talked about this though. It's just like the changing of systems that you filter through.
It's out of system. It's the meme. We're going to be specific. It's the meme. It's the meme shape that you use to.
The meme that you're through.
Meme is shape that you filter.
Meme is shape.
Yeah, meme equals shape. System is a system. It's its own layer in itself, and the point of the system is it propagates itself.
The meme meaning like the play that's going on.
The meme just representing no, just like a general as I said earlier, the cycle, like a circle. It's just like a literal shape that you can imagine. You can imagine a circle, what a circle looks like.
Samsara.
And you then in a layer you can see the shape of things reflected in objects. So like if you're looking at a cup has a finite, it can hold a finite amount of water and it will empty out eventually. So what is that? So that's
But circles keep spinning.
well, here I need to make the full like metaphor. So like you can look at like a well of water. So a well of water, like
Things are finite; they empty.
yeah.
But
Then they're
circle-
replenished because of like monsoon season, and then the well
the
replenishes.
cycle goes. Like we're
Whereas-
in nature right now. We're about to hit it.
But we have kitchen sinks and faucets, which separates you from the finitude of the water source entirely, and the way that it comes out. You don't think about.
You expect it. You become more. What's the word?
You become less present.
Entitled.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you move higher and higher away from the.
Disassociated from nature.
finitude.
Yeah. You become more entitled, and you become more there's a perfect word right there. But disassociate is a good word too. But you just
Dissonant,
become less. You take things for granted on a crazy level. You know what I mean? Like that's what it ultimately is. I mean, people take like their family for granted. You know, their job they have for granted. Like even having a, you know what I mean? All types of those things. But like I mean, literally just having a sink, like but you don't think about it too much. Having a lamp, but you really don't think about it too much.
And the reason they have to.
But that's where we're at now, in the meme.
Yeah. Well, and then, so yeah, you said they don't talk to their families because their families don't fit that shape that the meme that they're living
That they
under.
want maybe two or three.
Because their family isn't upholding political standards.
Well, just the idea of society, kind of the current program.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to the
your myth, your narratologic,
vision.
your narrative that your character, because you're playing a character obviously, and it's your story.
your arc.
And your family's not a part of it because
They're not fitting your view.
they're
Your
evil, or whatever. They're I don't know.
Your feelings,
Exactly.
Kinda. Your play. That's what I mean. The
Yeah, your
meme's the
play.
play. That's what I mean. Because memes are like modern day. That's what entertains people. A lot of people now. It's like just like the play was. It's kind of like
Spiel.
That's why Elon was saying is like living the meme. It's like the meme is reality. It is, and then the actual meme is just like a stamp from reality.
Well, I mean, it's just
It hits in that second.
it's the first layer above just like absolute presence. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's just like modern day Shakespeare, where it's like he said the world's a stage. Well, it's like the world's a meme. Like that's a way to say it in today's day and age, kind of.
Well, the world does take on this shape of everybody thinks that it's still like technology's only going to get better from here, and
Yeah, it's really not.
every time a new car comes out, every time something
Or like
comes
a
out
new
new
iPhone.
yearly, it gives people the impression that we are still
But it's
moving
not.
forward,
At
but
least
we're
it's not.
actually. I mean, we gotta take stock and salvage,
We're like wasting material, and it's not really nothing's improving.
and we keep burning from a finite source that's upholding everything, and we're not actually making any progress, and it's just going to burn out. It's already burned out.
Well, that goes like I don't keep saying the system, but yeah, it's like the industry. Yeah,
we're talking about 5 main things here: presence, meme, objects, sensing objects. We haven't talked about that. We should talk about that. Then systems, and then the myth. Those are the 5 registers that you should be tapping into, or that you have access to, and that's how you can get you can start talking like us.
You can be.
I see things slowly just starting as I talk more about it. And I'm fleshing it out.
Yeah.
And I'm understanding it more too. And then you're helping me flesh it out too.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Rock.
that's what conversation is, and that's like kind of like what I was saying. Like, this is one of my favorite videos ever. It's from 2012, and this type of art's not talked about or seen anymore. But I remember watching this in my dorm room, and it's flashing on my computer screen. And my roommate's like, "What do you watch?" I was like, and it's crazy. I love it. I still watch it to this day, but it gets hidden. And it goes back to like things is getting lost, but these conversations are lost. And you don't have these conversations, ideas don't come up. Things just get stuck and complacent, and things just kind of move on with the meme, you know. But when you talk about these things, that's when things change, and not in like an advocating way where it's like, but it's like we're actually just kind of
people's minds
we're
actually
forging
start
reality a little bit through conversation, and that's why words are a weapon, and that's why they don't like people being educated. A lot of people, certain people should be educated, but if you can handle it.
As long
like
as you
if with great power comes great responsibility, you know, that's what that is. But who wrote that? A writer.
Stan Lee, and he's like a fucking pedophile. So
Regardless,
fuck Stan Lee.
The tales are nice though. Yeah, I guess you kind of. I don't know. We're anyway. That's a
they're
true
basic,
thing though. With good power,
they're basic archetypes that are just drawn upon all things like the Odyssey.
He's writing his own guilt right there. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
He raped kids. He's like, I can't.
And it's not Stan Lee's fault that
He raped kids.
that he raped kids, or that his work was given phenomenal authorization
That is
to be.
a good line. It's a good line to like. That's a good line.
Yeah, but any idiot, I'm sure that was written by. He just ripped that off some Greek.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not
That's
that
archetype.
enlightened.
Yeah, it's not what I mean.
Why we shouldn't give any?
To
I don't
a
think
comic book though. But it's spread in a new light. It's spread to a new generation. Just like I was saying, like.
But perhaps that I could argue that
no one's
ruined a
writing
generation.
No one's writing Shakespeare, but no one. You know what I mean?
It's such a heavy thing to say, but fuck the superhero movie art. That whole thing is not good enough to uphold it.
It's a good idea, and they put it through a superhero thing.
Yeah, they ruined. They diminished it. They ruined it so that the words themselves, the phrase itself, has become a joke, and it fits a false meme shape or something. I'm just saying bullshit sometimes.
But it's just how people have to be like nowadays. That's what I mean. Like this stuff's gone. These conversations are gone. People just take it in as like TikToks or smaller, like quicker things. But these are good to have. No one sits around too many fires anymore. And drinks too much and talks. You know what I mean? And if they do, they're usually just bullshitting. They're not like trying to figure shit out. You know. But people used to sit around and talk and figure things out just all day long. What the hell? What else would you do?
It can come back. It will come back. Yeah.
I mean, some people are doing it, but then they're just selling out so they can just get like views and cash. Like that's what I mean. They're commoditizing a conversation, but it's not really a real conversation.
It's not compatible. The conversation they're having is compatible with the system, but it's different
fake
from
jazz. It's phony jazz.
Yeah.
All right, the recording is blinking. We might.
All right. Well, I think
we probably just cut on what you maybe said there.
Yeah, I mean, we hit the 5. I mean, getting these 5 main registers out, that's important. People can chew on that for a little bit. Talk to Grok about those. Go back, rewind, pull up Grok, and then ask Grok, talk about the 5 transcendental registers of meaning pertaining in the terms of Heidegger and Chad Haig, and then you're off to the races. And you can type in. So that's the thing. You type in that, and then you say, look through this guy's lens, and this guy's lens, and they spits it out. That's the best.
Or let them figure out their own way. Maybe they don't like Heidegger. Maybe they find another.
Well, I mean, you don't really have a
just explore.
I don't think
and
you really
find the branches because they're all kind of connected in some senses.
I don't think you really have a choice if you want to truly grasp it, unless you are read on these guys. Unfortunately,
or just do like a bunch of drugs.
Or I mean, it can be put in. I see what you're saying. You can put it in your terms. It doesn't have to be in Heideggerian sense.
But I mean, these guys, these are good ways to.
If you want a deeper understanding, because you'll get better words.
Nice.
But if you want it on easy mode, give it to me on easy mode. You can literally tell it.
Oh, Grok.
Yeah, you could be like, do this, and that.
I mean, that's what I mean. You can
easy
literally
mode,
tell this stuff. Like you can,
Yeah.
Learn how to use it, folks.
Be like, my IQ is lukewarm, Grok, so give it to me soft. Give it to me soft and chewy, like
Yeah.
a candy bar, McDonald's or something.
They don't sell candy bars at McDonald's.
I know, it's bad, two things to juxtapose. It's not good.
And you respect McDonald's.
I love McDonald's. I shouldn't say that.
I
You
took
shouldn't love
Harrison to
McDonald's.
McDonald's yesterday.
Ice cream?
I was watching him, and then they didn't give him nothing.
Well, you have to buy him ice cream and you give it to him. Say, yeah.
Thought they would give him like a pup cup or something, but
You got to pay for it, dumb.
fuck that.
Unless you, I mean,
I got a
you could guilt them into
Triple cheeseburger is not bad.
Dude, when the triple cheeseburger first came out, I was working there. I ate 2 of them on a break. Like,
I had a double and a triple.
dude, that's mad. I want a triple. That sounds crazy. I haven't had one since that came out. Probably, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You seem satisfied. You're like dreaming about it. You're thinking about it right now. You're looking. That was a nice big ass cheeseburger.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think this is a good.
All right.
You want to hit the button? Just hit the square one. Cool.
Yes.